Hello and welcome back to Knits and Bolts Costume Design. And if you're new here, I'm Rebecca. This video this time is going to be part of the Great CosTube Sew Off. It is the brainchild of Bookhoarding with Bianca. Now the Great CosTube Sew Off, if you've not heard of that, is a 3-month challenge where we loosely base it off of the parameters of the Great British Bake Off. So in March was our signature challenge. April will be our technical, and May will be the showstopper. So this time, the parameters of the technical challenge was to create a garment using reused or upcycled items. So come along, let's see what we've done this time. So pleased with my 1860s petticoat, and this upcoming technical will so push my skills. And I'm just hoping that that's going to take me through to the showstopper.
So my products that I am going to use for my recycled or reused products will actually be 2 tablecloths. I'm going to use the round one to create full circle skirt, and then I'm going to use this 52 by 70 inch tablecloth to create a basic button-up blouse. And we'll see how this goes. To create my circle skirt, I am using these directions that I googled on a pattern to create a circle skirt. A simple Google search and you should be able to find either similar directions to these, or you can also find what's called a circle skirt calculator. It allows you to input your measurements and it creates the measurements that you would need to do this. So my formula is the half of my waist measurement divided by 3.14. So that's the first thing that I'm going to need. Now, I'm a visual person, so I really have to see what it looks like for me to translate that out. So here is my formula. So my waist measure, half of my waist measurement divided by 3.14 comes out to 28.5 divided by 3.14, which comes out to 9.076. So this measurement, the 9.076, is where I'm going to measure from A to B. All right, so this is the salvage edges of my fabric if I was using a 45-inch width fabric, and here's the fold at the top. Now from B to C will be the length of my skirt. Now typically I like to use a 27-inch length of a skirt, and then I just pleat or gather the waist down into a waistband that I cut to my measurements. Things will be a little bit different since I'm using a round tablecloth, so I'll go over that here in just a moment. Now to cut out the pattern that I just mentioned, so as I mentioned, that radius for my waist is that 9 point whatever. So I just rounded that to 9 inches, and so what I've done is I folded the skirt in half, and then I folded it in half so to be in quarters. From this fixed point, I measured down 9 inches, and I did that all the way around. So this gives me where I need to cut, and I marked it in chalk. So I will cut this out, and then when I get this done, I'll come back and I'll show you the next steps. All right, my next step was I marked where I want my zipper to go. So I marked 9 inches down the back. I also marked the side seam, and we'll use that as a loose term here. I marked the side areas on both sides because no skirt is good without any pockets. So I'm drafting a pocket because the pocket pattern I have, it's just not adequate. So I'm going to be drafting a new pocket. So I didn't distinguish a length here yet until I figure out what type of, how I want to design the pocket. So the next step here is to cut this open and put in my zipper. All right, the zipper's all in. And so the next thing is to draft that pocket. Original pocket that I drafted for my 2 fall skirts. Now, what you don't see on the pattern is the additional 1/2 inch that I added to the top to add into the waistband for stability. And you don't see this outside edge piece here, which allowed for the seam allowance for the pocket opening. For some reason, I just drafted, when I cut it out, I cut that portion out. So this is the original pattern. So when wearing those skirts, I discovered that the bag itself was not deep enough. So if I put anything in my pocket, it would fall out, even though I made the opening for my hand about 6 inches or so, 5-6 inches. You know, that opening is about how far that is. So I just folded the pocket bag in half. And so here, I just folded it in half and then added that to the bottom. That should be plenty of deep pocket. And the skirt is going to be full enough that, you know, you won't be able to see my keys or my phone or whatever it is that I have in my pocket. And I'm going to have 2 pockets so I can distribute things evenly as well. So let's get 4 of these pieces cut out. Now I am using tablecloths for my fabric, so waste not and want not. So this is the center portion that I cut out of the circle tablecloth for my skirt. So I'm going to try to get 2 out of it. If not, then I will start cutting fabric out of this bigger tablecloth. Let's get at it. Now my waistband I pieced to save as much fabric as I can because I would like to use the leftover fabric to create a basic button-up blouse. Something similar to that one there. This pattern is too small for me, so I will have to do a pattern adjustment. So I'm hoping there's enough fabric left over to do that. So let's get the skirt adjusted to accommodate the pockets and get those sewn in. So I sewed each pocket piece to the opening I cut, which was the same length as that tab I cut on my pocket pattern. I ironed that to the inside. So the next step is to match the pocket bags. So when I have those matched up, I'll show you the next step. So now you can see the pocket a little better. So I ironed the pocket to the inside. And then at the top here, I sewed it down, probably about 2 inches from the top, because there will be the waistband seam allowance there. So it'll be about 1.5 inches down, which is about the best place for the pocket opening to start for me. Now the next step here is to sew this outside edge all the way around, sew up to here, and then I'm going to reinforce with back stitches right here just to make sure that this end doesn't fray, because it's going to wear and tear, because that's where I'm going to be entering, you know, the most pull when I'm putting my hand in my pocket. So that'll be the next step, is to getting that all sewed. Waistband on. And if you want to know how I attach my waistband, you can watch my video on the making of my fall skirts. It's the same process. And so next is to get some closures on.
What type of closures have you chosen?
Rizzo, I have decided to use skirt hooks and bars.
Ooh, this can't be good.
Was only like a third of the pattern alterations I need to make the blouse fit. I just simply don't have enough fabric to make a full outfit. Well, that didn't go so well. I so wanted to have a full outfit to complete for my technical. That makes me sad, but we have one challenge left, the showstopper. So, I got this. I can do this.